Hello everyone, in this video we will learn about anatomy of flowering plant. So the study of internal structure of a plant is called the anatomy. So whatever the internal structure is there, how it is working, so the complete study of that internal structure of a plant is known as the anatomy. Now what is the tissue? So basically a group of cells that is having a common origin and usually performing a common function. So first of all, their origin should be common and they are performing the same function. So if this type of group of tissue is there, sorry, group of cell is there, then we called it tissue. Basically, plant is having different kind of tissue, but on the basis that a cell or the tissue is able to divide or not, on that basis we can divide the tissue into two parts. So first, the tissues which are able to divide, we call them mesometic tissue, and the tissues which are not able to divide, that we call the permanent tissues. Now, what is mesometic tissue? Whenever we observe the growth of any plant, then we can easily find that the growth of a plant is restricted to a particular portion. A particular region is there where the cells are dividing, and that dividing portion is known as the meristem. Plants have different kind of meristem. On the basis of their position, we can divide them into different parts. For example, if the meristematic portion is present on the root or shoot tip of any plant, that means the topmost portion or the bottommost portion where the cells are dividing, so that portion is known as the apical meristem. It is found basically on the root tip or the shoot tip of any plant. For example, if we see, this is a this portion is the root tip and this is the shoot tip. So at the portion where the roots are dividing or the cells are dividing to forming or to elonging the roots, that we call the root apical meristem, and the portion where the shoots are going to divide and forming or elongation of shoot is occur, that portion is known as the shoot apical meristematic zone. Now, at the time of formation of leaf and elongation of shoot, few of the cells which are present in the meristematic zone, it will left behind and it will forms the axillary bud. And in future, it will produce stem and flowers. So whatever the new branches or new flowers are formed, it is done by the axillary bud. So it will produce the new flowers and stem in the future. Now the meristem which is present between the mature tissues, we called it intercalary meristem. For example, in grasses it is found. So whenever the grazing herbivores are eating that grasses, so after some time these intercalary meristems are able to grow that part. Both apical meristem as well as the intercalary meristem are primary meristem because they are helping to form only the primary plant body. So whatever the plant body is there, it is basically formed by apical meristem and intercalary meristem. So these two type of meristems are known as primary meristem. Now the meristem that occurs in a mature region of the roots and shoot of a many plant, particularly those that produce woody axis and appear later than primary meristem is called the secondary or lateral meristem. So if any meristem that is occur after maturity or in the mature region of root and shoot, and basically they are producing the woody axis, so these type of meristem are basically known as the secondary or lateral meristem. They are cylindrical meristem, that means in the cylindrical form these meristems are formed. So whatever the fascicular vascular cambium, interfascicular cambium and core cambium, these are the examples of lateral meristem, and these are responsible for the producing or the secondary tissues. So whatever the secondary type of tissues are formed, so these secondary tissues are the result of these secondary and lateral meristem. Now, whenever the primary and secondary meristems are dividing, after some time they will produce new cells. So, whatever the cells which are losing the capacity to divide, these type of cells are known as the permanent or mature cells. and they will form the permanent tissues. Now, during the formation of primary plant bodies, specific region of apical meristem produce dermal tissue, ground tissue, and vascular tissue. So, after dividing the apical meristem, the new cells are formed, and these new cells which are produced after division, certain part of these cells will produce or will form the dermal tissue, few of them will form the ground tissue, and few will form the vascular tissue.